Free services, Lavazzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 594. I'm Adam and and here's Mary Lang. Oh, Mary, it's your turn.
Well, I didn't hear you call my name. Okay, infinite lifetime, finite memory makes for an awkward social life.
Beautifully slick. And Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
It's not like we've got a ticking clock or anything.
This week we're going to be facing a raven, and I'm hoping that we've got something through via the medium of feedback that has a slightly better synopsis than Andy Nunny did last time. And guess what?
What?
Nothing from Andy Nunny. I'll just refresh.
Oh, no.
Nothing from Andy Nunny. Maybe got upset because I got...
Ian Kirk just put through his transcript.
Yeah, well, I don't want to know.
Terry Miles left.
I know, I've got Terry Miles. He's done a sort of a synopsis. So I'm going to send this over to the lovely Mary, because Mary has officially got dulcet tones. So what we're going to do is send it over to Mrs. Mary Dulcet Tones. Mary Dulcet Tones. There we go. And here it comes. You have now got a little bit of the sort of Terry Miles version of the synopsis. Do you have it?
Okay, just arrived.
Yes, okay, go for it.
Okay. This one reintroduces Rigsy from the episode Flatline, the companion that never was. Yeah, I wonder where Rigsy came from.
What it was. He was in 2 episodes.
He has a strange tattoo on his neck. Strange, as it keeps counting down. The Doctor is still using his response cards. They find an alien refugee camp in the middle of London. Well, Cardiff, really. So a Shilder is still going by the name Me. Clara is trying to be the indestructible Doctor and failing fatally.
Mm-hmm.
The look on a Shilder, the look on a Shilder Me's face when she realizes that Clara has the chrono clock. Clara takes death like a trooper, chest out, raven in, drop dead, or is she? Oh dear, a Shilder Me has made an enemy of the Doctor. Not the best things to do. A few good quotes in this one. The Doctor saying, "Still saving the world from me then." And a Shilder Me answers, "It's still here, isn't it?" A Shilder Me says, "Don't worry, we're perfectly safe." And the Doctor says, "Yes, a phrase I find is usually followed by a lot of screaming and running and bleeding." Doctor to Clara. "Okay, local knowledge. You're coming with us. Bring the new human." "No, don't bring the new human. I'll just get distracted."
That was the quote I was going to use.
The Doctor to a Shilder Me. "What Clara said about not taking revenge, do you know why she said that? She was saving you. I was lost a long time ago. She was saving you. I'll do my best, but I strongly advise you to keep out of my way. You'll find it's a very small universe when I'm angry with you." Next up, it's the Crystal Maze. It's Heaven Sent. Linda and Terry Miles.
Yeah, so that's there's more of a synopsis there, isn't there?
Yeah, it is sort of a
yeah. Okay, so
I'm the master.
What?
Why am I echoing?
No, it was Mary doing when you went master. Was it not you, Mary? Was it a real echo?
Oh
dear.
Yeah, it was.
What?
Anyway.
You talking about.
I can't hear him echo. That's weird. Carry on anyway with Kirby.
Yeah, because we're not going through a complete synopsis, I did want to mention that 9 years ago, you because of what the street looks like, you start referring to
Diagon
it
Alley?
as Zygon Alley.
I thought of that again this time, but I haven't got around to saying what I thought about it yet. So,
I like that, Zygon Alley.
Zygon Alley, no, Diagon Alley,
Yes.
not Zygon
No,
Alley.
you
Zygon
started
Alley
calling
works.
it Zygon Alley.
Okay, right then. So, okay, so the story, it wasn't quite as I remembered it. I just remembered it being all in Diagon Alley, but obviously there was a bit of what?
No, it wasn't.
They just finished an unseen adventure, which I suppose at some point we may see or hear on Big Finish.
I hope not.
And they get a phone call from Riggsy, and I thought initially that Doctor was going to moan about only give that number out for emergencies. Of course, it was a bit of an emergency. The tattoo on the back of the neck is quite sinister, with it counting down, and I quite like them trying to sort of see this sort of this space that has been almost like, was it like that weird perception filter type thing, isn't it, that you can't see it until you see it
and see the alley.
And of course Grigsby gradually gets sort of flashbacks here and there, and they eventually end up in the alley, and it's a bit spooky and weird stuff. I think I didn't realise that Ashilda was going to be in the episode until she was in the episode, and I was quite like her.
That from 9 years ago?
What?
You didn't remember from 9
No,
years ago?
I haven't seen it that since then, so I don't hardly remember the story at all. Just bits and bobs of it, and Clara getting done in, and that woman who's now the Black Panther in it, being in it, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest. That and the guy from Keeper Truckin'. It was pretty much the best things.
The guy from Keeper of Traken.
Yeah, one of the Traken council members was the old man who got killed by the Raven.
I didn't know that, but I wasn't really looking out for it, to be fair. Of course.
Yeah, his name is Robin Soanes, and he's been around forever.
Okay, but anyway, so this. I know we were talking about Clara sort of not being quite as bad as I remember. Obviously, this episode she's really cocky, or she needs to be fair, because it leads to a downfall. So I quite like the fact that Clara's trying to be clever behind the Doctor's back. Because I'm pretty sure if the Doctor had been present when she decided to swap over the tattoos, he would have said, "No, you fool! Don't do that. You'd be dead." And she's all really smug for the whole thing, and then of course it backfires. So I like that.
So we should name this Clara Guess What's Coming to Her.
Yes.
The weird thing is that as we've noted past during the Clara era, she's not seemed as doctorish and
but she was trying to be doctorish, wasn't she, in this episode?
I thought we remembered.
But
these last few episodes are like that, but I think the earlier episodes had her basically running things, and so I think we carried that mindset through the rest of the episode.
And also the mindset of what she was like in this story, and I think she got a bit cocky, but I just love the way it twisted. Obviously, we knew she was going to die, I feel, in this story when we watched it, but I think...
Oh, no, Master.
We didn't?
You took... points away from me,
right?
Because I had been telling you for weeks that the BBC was saying that she was going to die in this episode, and you were going, "That's spoiler! Don't let me know that."
Yeah, well, I would be correct in saying that, but I already know now, so it's not a spoiler. Right? Anyway, no, I just
give me my point.
You're not having your point back. So I think I'll probably double it on the back of it being a spoiler. But so. It's all quite encased within this Diagon Alley place, and Ashilda still being a bit sort of anal when it comes to the Doctor and her annoyance against him. And of course, it even twists a little bit for her, because it's not quite what she had planned in the end, but it gets followed through. So
I'm
Clara
still puzzled by what she had planned.
What she had planned was to lure the Doctor in, and then get him banished somewhere. I think that's what the ultimate plan was.
Obviously, to the place where he's going to be
Yeah.
at for 1 billion years. But
Yeah.
it just
This is why
it
he
doesn't make
gets
sense.
over his anger, because he's there for so long. But what I'm saying is, so she knows Riggsy knows the Doctor, so she puts his thing on Riggsy to lure the Doctor in. So if we all know now, if Clara hadn't interfered with that side of things, she was going to switch it off anyway. She'd got the Doctor and she could banish him. So that side of things went a little bit wrong, and because of Clara being Clara, it ultimately got her. Well, sort of. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I know the death bit was sort of drawn out at the end.
Boy,
but
was it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, it was drawn out a little bit, but it was supposed to be a swan song, or part of it. But I will say,
No,
I mean,
it was a Raven song, not a Swan song.
You're so funny. Well, I will say that Peter Capaldi was absolutely amazing through the whole episode, really. There was so many different emotions from him during it. There was jokey Doctor, there was just sort of being slightly sarcastic Doctor, and then there was very, very serious Doctor, there was angry Doctor, there was scared Doctor. All the way through, he was just superb. In this episode, and I think his reaction, I love the bit where Clara's sort of saying a final goodbye to him, and he doesn't like being hugged. And I do like doctors that don't like being hugged. But anyway, he doesn't like being hugged, but he's sort of there, and you feel that this is the moment that you should perhaps hug her, but he still doesn't. And in some way, I quite like that. And yeah, and also he does put in the gravitas of he's very angry and he's going to hurt someone. But yeah, he's been put in a situation. He's promised Clara that he won't do the War Doctor stuff, because he just said he isn't the Doctor anymore, didn't he? At that point, so it's quite a good episode, to be fair. Clemso's in it. I'm pretty sure I saw at the back of Julian Seeger as well. And all in all, yeah, I remember. I don't remember liking it as much as I actually did when I watched it. It was quite an interesting story. And yeah, we've got rid of Clara, sort of, which is quite good. What do you think about it then, Mary? Actually, do we do Mary, or do we? We're supposed to the Dears, aren't we? What do you think about it, Kirby?
So it's my turn.
Yes.
I didn't like it 9 years ago, and I liked it
now.
much less this time.
Oh God!
It is boring.
What?
It makes no sense. It is drawn out. Yes, Capaldi is great in it. Even Black Panther doesn't have much of a role.
No, but then that was before she was in Marvel, so she was like a start-out actress.
She just sits there in the back for half the episode.
Well, that's interesting. Not the fact that the episode. Interesting the fact that an actress who's now Black Panther was a bit part in this particular Doctor Who story.
It made no sense.
Oh God.
I still I'm having trouble hooking together why she sent him to this fortress that we're going to see next time.
Because she's cross with him, and now he's cross with her.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I know. At least I remember that the next one is a fantastic episode. I hope it still is.
So do I.
But then I remember the one after that is just not good either.
Okay, we'll find out.
Yes, I can be negative.
Yeah, you said that all the way through, and most of the episodes have actually been quite good, Kirby. So.
Well, this one was not.
Well,
I was
okay. I'm quite
not amused.
I quite enjoyed it.
So, and I was quite happy to watch Clara get done in, and she doesn't go, "I'm not dead."
No, be quiet. Have some respect. Anyway, on the live feed, Lillian Robbins says, hi. Leo Thomas Matthews says, hello, Adam. Hope you are well. And Derry Mar says, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody to everybody. Right then, so, of course, we move on to this section of the show. should have perhaps played that bit of music for Kirby. But what did you think about it then, Mary? While I go into the kitchen and get a cola.
I'm kind of divided about this episode. I'm partly in your camp, Adam, because I think it was well directed. I think it looked good, and I think the acting in it was really good, including and especially Capaldi. I too think he did a superb job and all. But like Kirby, it's like I won't say it was boring. I kept engaged because I kept trying to figure out what was going on. And things were not adding up. Things were not making sense. I didn't know, what a Schilder's real plan for the doctor was. And in this whole thing about Clara taking the tattoo and her being, we'll take care of it. That was like a resurfacing of the Clara that we don't like, the one who takes charge. And her death being drawn out. I mean, there was good, but there was also all that stuff Kirby said. So it's one that I would not watch again, and I haven't watched since it was on 9 years ago. So I had no clue when I went into it, other than Clara dying, what was going to happen. And so aspects were good, but mostly it didn't impress me that much. And I'm really dreading getting to the next one because I hated the next one.
It didn't impress
I recall
you
loving
much.
the next one, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna get out the boxing gloves the next day.
Oh, I won't defend it that much, but I remember being very impressed by it. So we'll see.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it because I know there's, I'm a big fan of Groundhog Day and things that try and be Groundhog Day, and I felt that was very Groundhog Day, and maybe
yes.
I think, hey, I know I'm going to talk about it next time, but I think maybe the ultimate end of the story was a bit, so I can understand why, as far, because it was really good. Even if you went through that.
Well, we'll discuss it next time.
No, we've already discussed it. I'm just saying. I just think maybe. I don't know. It's just the fact that it goes into. I mean, I can't really remember it properly, so we will talk about it next time. But because Kirby's already told me it's rubbish, it makes it rather difficult to get an opinion. To be fair,
next week, as I recall, was not rubbish.
We should have done these in 3 parts apparently, because it said to be continued. But it's certainly this episode is a standalone.
Yes.
And I feel the next one is it could be either 2 standalones or a 2-parter. What do you think, Kirby?
The next one is very definitely a standalone.
Next week.
Yeah.
So we're doing almost 2 standalones. Yeah, I think that's doable. I don't think they're enough of they're linked to. Yeah, they just sort of flow into each other, don't they?
They flow into each other, but the next one is all set in the one spot. It's Capaldi acting as Hard Out, and then when it leads to Gallifrey, it's so much of a jarring difference that no, we shouldn't count it.
Okay, that's good. Then we'll do that.
My vote is for doing them together, but we'll make Adam decide.
No, I think because they're little stories that flow into each other. I feel that we'll do them as individuals. I like getting them out of the way, to be fair, but I think the characters in each story are different. So that, therefore, for me, makes them different stories. I think if we had like the same characters in like 2 episodes together, that would make sense. But I think on this particular instance, we'll do them as individuals that are part of a trilogy. Because we've done trilogies before, haven't we? That are individual stories. It's like the Davison one, with he had a trilogy, wasn't it? It was Morgan Undead, followed by a couple of others.
And then there was
the Black Guardian. It was a Black Guardian trilogy, wasn't it?
There was also the 10th Doctor one where the Master coming back was in as the Professor.
Yeah.
Was one story, and then it flows into the 2 parts.
That was more of a connected story because Captain Jack was in it, Jarrett Jacobi was in it, so that was more of a flowing trilogy thing. Whereas these are separate episodes that the ends of which join together.
Right.
Yes. So we're going to do it as individual episodes. Right then, let's go through. There's some feedback come through. By the way, listeners, this is me winding up Kirby. There's some feedback coming.
I just refreshed, so I'm getting the information. I anticipated.
Yes, I was going to try and read them myself just to wind him up, but no, carry on.
Kirsty said, "Ugh."
Why did she say ugh?
She said ugh because
Does she
we
not
were
like it?
doing this particular story. So I said back to her, "It's next in line for a rewatch of everything. I can't help it." Grin. And she said, "I just got done with rewatching this section. It's just not fun." So she agrees with me.
Right then, Kirsty, that's it.
Oh, it might not be not fun, but I wondered if she thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, but did she actually watch it?
Yeah. So what was
Sounds
she?
like it.
Because. Right, on, Kirsty, just because I have in front of me the appropriate sound effects, and this is not in relation to what Kirby thinks, I'm going to play it anyway. There we go. Right then, carry on, Kirby.
The only other thing other than Ian Kirk's feedback I will not read is Terry Miles saying, "The hills are alive, unlike Clara."
You like that one, didn't you, Kirby? Hang on. Hang on. I've got a sound effect for that too. Hang on. I need to play some.
I'm hanging on.
Yeah, I need to play some lift music while I'm finding the sound effects. There you go. That's just for Terry, because that was quite a good little joke, wasn't it, everybody? Yes. Carry on. Oh, hang on. Is that it? Hang on. There's nothing else, is there?
That's it, except for Ian Kirk. Let me double check. Let me scroll down the bottom.
Okay.
Nope, nothing else.
Okay. Let's see if anybody's posted anything.
We're boring them all.
Yeah, well, it says Lillian Robin lift music. Okay, Lillian Robin has requested lift music. And all I've got in regards to lift music is this. I'm going to play it. Okay, so the next segment is the feedback that we got through the email system, which isn't an awful lot. So all I can do is play a little sound effect which I put together many years ago specially for it, and I'm trying to fill because I can't see it for some reason. Oh God, bloody, what's the matter with this thing today? I've got the right folder. I found it. Right, so I can do this.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian Kirk.
Face the Raven by Sarah Dollard. A horror story with the return of Ashildr, and Clara dies at the end.
Yay!
Ashildr is in charge of a hidden refugee camp under threat. To deal with the threat, she gets Rigsy to visit, then falsely convicts him to death so the doctor will turn up. She's made a deal to swap him for protection for the camp. The camp is a bit like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. Why would Rigsy look at the back of his neck if his memory is wiped? Because the plot needs it.
Oh, God.
Clara has been reckless for some time. Here she takes another risk and loses. I'm running late, so this review is too short.
Yes, it is.
Bye for now.
Well, thank you, Ian. Right, two things. One, I'm very surprised he didn't play his "I'm not dead yet" catchphrase when he said about Clara being dead. And Rigsy may have noticed the tattoo on the back of his neck, because hasn't he got a little kiddie wink, which means there must be a mother to that kiddie wink who may have noticed this weird tattoo that's appeared on the back of his neck.
Yes, I believe that was the explanation.
Yes, it's obvious. And that's it for feedback. Thanks, everyone. I spent hours putting this show to... What?
Let me check the Isle of Wight. I
haven't put anything on it. Did you put something on the Isle of Wight?
I don't know.
Nobody's interested in the Isle of Wight.
No, my request for feedback has been completely ignored as usual, although 11 people looked at it.
Nobody's interested in the Isle of Wight. I'm always being let down by the Isle of Wight.
Two of those people are you and Debbie, but Alistair looked at it.
Alistair's not interested in providing feedback for this show. He's almost like our cuddly uncle. He doesn't appear on the show. He just sort of he just had a massive input in its its existence. That's a good word, isn't it? I.e. the theme tune. Right then, so that means we've got to move on to the next section of the show, which is Doctor Who news. So, I wonder if there is an. I might do some FantasyCon news as well, actually, because I still need to catch up with work. I really should have continued with work this evening, Kirby, because I want to get my work out of the way before we go away.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
What, work?
Yeah, we can finish this up in about 15 minutes.
Oh, jeez, I'm not doing work tonight because I have actually got to a point in which I can shelve it until tomorrow. But I'm saying that, but hopefully by next week it will be more or less done. Right then, so we've got I talked about that last week. The announcement about the spin-offs. You were both in the show last week. There's no point talking about that again. Star Trek and Doctor Who unite for Intergalactic Friendship Day. The universe of Doctor Who will synchronise with the universe of Star Trek in a new game developed by East Side Games Group. I wonder if they're licensed. Specially designed to mark
the international... Yes, they are.
Yeah, specially designed to mark International Friendship Day. The meeting between the two beloved sci-fi franchises, one Disney, one not, well, Paramount, I suppose you'd call it, occurs in a new story specially made that spans galaxies and time in the new mobile games Star Trek Lower Decks Mobile and Doctor Who Lost in Time. This crossover will be brought to life in a limited time event in both games starting on August the 1st. We missed it then, haven't we? Fans will be treated to the same thrilling story experienced from two unique perspectives.
I'm sure it's still out there.
Kevin Jorge, I suppose that says Jorge, I don't know, head of games at BBC, says blah, 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 Kirby, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It might be worth looking at. I can't see a link to it on this particular...
Adam, have you ever played any of these online games?
I'm not really... I like playing games on my PlayStation from time to time, but I don't do this sort of stuff. I did have a Doctor Who game on one of my games consoles. I got another one, but then it turned out to be a VR game and sent it back. But I've got a VR set now, which is in Isabella's room, and I've never actually played it.
Oh, you need to tell me more about that.
What's that? The Doctor Who VR game. I haven't seen it. I got the VR set, but I haven't actually ever used it. We got it for FantasyCon 3, and I haven't used it. But I want to use it to watch that, that Doctor Who story that's in 3D. Is it the Day of the Doctor or something like that? Time of the Doctor, which is the one that's in 3D. Hello, anybody there?
Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, so that's the one I want to watch through the headset because it's in 3D. I've never seen that in 3D.
Yes. Well, you have to get a hold of a 3D copy.
It's in Isabella's room. It's wired up to Isabella's PlayStation. It's wired up to her telly. But we need to get it back because it needs to go to FantasyCon in 2 months.
Is it a Jodie Whittaker story?
What do you mean? No, it's Matt Smith, isn't it? It's the 50th anniversary episode.
Oh, yeah. You have to get a hold of a copy which is in 3D.
I've got a copy that's in 3D. That's the point.
Okay,
it's
fine.
on Blu-ray.
So do I.
God's sake. The designer Ken Ledsam has died. He designed the 3 stories of Doctor Who. In 1978, he worked on the first story of the Key to Time series, the Ribos Operation, or Ribos Operation, depending on if you want to pronounce it incorrectly or not. The ice world where the first segment of the key was hidden. And he returned to the following year to design the Return of the Daleks after a 5-year gap in Destiny of the Daleks. His final commission for Doctor Who was The King's Demons in 1983, designing the court of King John, who I'm descended from, by the way, listeners, and introducing the robot chameleon. So obviously somewhere back in time my whatever many time great-grandfather actually met Chameleon, who was also pretending to be him, funny enough. Doctor Who magazine special edition, The Missing Doctor Who, has released a new edition. It says the issue reveals results of the League of Legends poll, which asks readers to name the lost episodes they'd most like to watch. So if you want to see those, although it does say a little bit about it on there, but if you want to actually read that stuff, it's $8.99. Have a look at whowon.co.uk because they do occasionally have
Is that whowon.co.uk?
publications like that available. And I'm very surprised that these things aren't available on download these days. Yeah. So that's Doctor Who news. I feel it. Did I mention last week about Fraser Hines pulling out because he's got an acting job for FantasyCon? Did I mention
believe
that?
you did. I don't quite remember. But
In case that turns it into a bit of a reiteration, doesn't it? Yeah. So we're currently trying to source a companion of the Doctor as a replacement, and something's in the pipeline, but I'm not allowed to say yet because contracts have not been exchanged. So watch this space. We've been trying. It's now on the stage where we have to promote and push. I've got loads of leaflets out. I'm starting to fly posters around the Isle of Wight. What I could do with is people who have bought sales pitches actually sharing it on their own pages. I don't get why you would buy a pitch to an event and then not share that event. Because surely, if you want people to come along and buy your stuff,
they're trying to suppress it.
It makes no sense. So that's something we've got to look into. And I'll have to write a circular email to everybody to cover that. But this is the first time we've ever done FantasyCon and virtually everything is in place. And we're just sort of sitting and waiting, making sure ferries are booked, making sure the sponsors are happy, making sure the charity partners are happy, and just advertising it and pushing it is really difficult because all you're doing is advertising and pushing the same thing because it's already, there. So, yeah, that's all I can say. I had a funny feeling that Terry Miles has bought a ticket, but I can't be 100% sure. But every time a ticket gets sold, I get an email of that person who's bought the ticket. And if Terry Miles hasn't bought a ticket, that means that somebody called Terry Miles has bought a ticket. So there we go. Isn't that interesting?
Didn't you say Terry Miles was on the live feed?
He's not anymore. People can't put up with our live feeds very much. They get a headache. Ian Kirk says, he says shh about the ticket. Maybe it's a present for someone. Ian Kirk says, news: Fear Her has been temporarily removed from BBC iPlayer, so that a voiceover by Hugh Edwards can be replaced. Good. I was hoping they were going to do that. Fantastic idea. Well done, Beeb. Of course, they're a bit ashamed of themselves anyway for paying him quite a lot of money over the years. And it's also worries me sometimes that all these famous celebrity paedophiles all seem to have worked for the BBC and only for the BBC. Just saying. But it's good that they've done. Thank you for reporting that, Ian. A very important bit of news. So I wonder what voice they're going to use instead of Hugh Edwards. Maybe just a generic actor doing a sports commentary, maybe. I don't know. But good. I'm pleased they've done that. I'm so pleased. But anyway, highly appropriate. Right. What else can we talk about? What have I watched? We went to the cinema. I talked about the Deadpool Wolverine. I talked about that last week, but it was such a good film. It's worth talking about again. Have either of you had a chance or gone to see it or anything?
No.
No.
Well, go and see it. It's funny.
The last movie I saw was Wings. What was it?
Paul
3
McCartney.
weeks ago.
Was Paul McCartney in that one with Linda and?
Ha 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 ha.
No?
I mean, in a theater, the last movie, and I don't think I've been to a theater for a regular movie since before the pandemic. Just the silent movies. Now, my youngest daughter has already said that she and I are going to go see Beetlejuice together. So.
Oh yes, I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I'm not sure I like Beetlejuice 1, let alone Beetlejuice. But maybe we'll go and see it. But I want to see the Minions movie as well, which has been out for a while. And there's a couple of other decent films that were trailered while we were watching the.
I've got too much to watch at home to bother to go and spend however much money it costs to see a movie in the theaters.
Well, I've been watching.
On the TV, and all those streaming services are just loaded with things to watch. So it just seems.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to watch history
and
stuff.
I just got an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. So.
Well, I've been watching the Olympics over the last week, so I haven't really watched anything outside
that.
But I have been watching, there's a series on Netflix. I've been watching, and somebody's just given me a sort of heads up about a series that's currently on YouTube, and I don't know if it's been taken off another, syndicate channel of somebody. It's called, and I've got it written down here. It's called The Whitakers, America's Most Inbred Family. Now, apparently my friend at work said he started watching it because he thought it was basically to have a bit of a chuckle at the whole situation. But it turns out that when you watch it, you actually become sympathetic towards the family and quite admirable of them as well. So I don't know that. I've never seen it. It's just that they were talking about it. I thought that sounds really interesting. So I do intend to source it out and watch it.
I saw that it was passing by on my suggestion list on YouTube, but I haven't watched it. I might watch it.
I think I will.
What is the name of it?
It's called The Whitakers, America's Most Inbred Family. What flagged it up for me was the fact that that they were a family that was prone to have identical twins, and that has been the issue, that the identical twins would then marry another side of cousins that were maybe identical. And of course, the gene pool isn't wide enough to cope with that. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be quite interesting itself. I might have a look at that one. Sports-wise, yeah, it's just been the Olympics. I'm really looking forward to the start of the football season. Isn't there baseball an Olympic sport? It certainly used to be.
Oh, I love baseball. Yeah, I've got the game on now.
Yeah, but didn't it used to be an Olympic sport? Is it an Olympic sport? Or maybe they didn't. They took it off being an Olympic sport because America used to win all the time. Because obviously the World Series and all that, and I don't know.
And they don't show it over there anymore?
I don't think it is, but I'm pretty sure I used to watch it in the Olympics. Somebody will correct me somewhere along the line. But no, there's certainly been some good spots. BMX racing was quite frantic. Thankfully, the swimming's done now. And Britain could be doing better. That's all I'm saying in regards to the medals. But apparently the Olympic thing is all about taking part, not necessarily the winning. Will you tell that to all the Americans that have won gold medals at it? Right now, I've got stuff coming through on the live feed. Lillian Robin says, excuse me, that's me, too much fizz. Hang on, this is going back a bit. So I've got to find where it starts. Right. So, Lillian Robin says, I don't get bored by the live feed. And then, y'all are funny. I think y'all is my nickname, because obviously you two wouldn't be funny, so that y'all is me, are funny. And then Terry Miles says, Despicable Me 4 is brilliant. I want to watch that film even more now, Terry.
I've seen previews to that. That looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
I'll wait until it's on a streaming service.
Yes. There's a good program on Channel 4, I think it is, or Channel 5, called Body Detectives, where they find like people who dead bodies they find years and years ago, but they're not able to identify them. But then they reinvestigate the thing with DNA and clever people who can reconstruct facial things from skulls and whatnot. And that's been quite interesting when they found this homeless bloke who died in the 90s. So they took a picture of his body during autopsy, and then they buried him, obviously. And then this bloke reconstructed him as he would have looked like when he was alive. And he was able to go around. They worked out his name from a little card he had on, because he turned out to be mute and deaf and mute and whatever. So all he had was his name when he died, and they couldn't work out what his surname was. Well, some clever person enhanced the picture, and they got his surname, and were able to find out that he was from a Nigerian family, and then they eventually found his family in Nigeria who actually didn't want to know, which was a sad end to it after all that. But no spoilers. But yeah, it's a good series, right? What have we got here? Tim Drury says, will Adam rave about Raven? I've already raved about it. I didn't rave about it. Very good pun there. I like that. But I really am duty bound to play this. quite liked it. What did you think about it, Tim? I quite enjoyed it. And
And
Terry
the rest
Mars
of us didn't.
just you, Kirby. Terry Masters,
Mary
Deadpool.
wasn't enthusiastic either.
Whatever. Yeah, she's been slightly more enthusiastic than you were. Deadpool and Wolverine is hilarious. That's Terry Miles. It is. Honestly, you will need to just be mindful of laughing on jokes for so much so you'll miss parts of the film, because there's some very, very funny stuff in it.
I need to go back and watch Deadpool 2 because I haven't yet. I loved the first Deadpool.
Yeah, watch both of them quickly, and then go watch this film. This film is just absolutely superb. Right then, so what else do we know? Oh yes, I was going to ask. Obviously, what we watched this week, as I've just said, the Olympics mainly, and programs about genealogy and stuff. Because I'll tell you what, I did talk about genealogy. I did find out the other day that I may not remember that I was a big fan of the $6 Million Man when I was 10. By the way, far and away my favourite program of that era, along with the Incredible Hulk. But Lindsay Wagner played the Bionic Woman, and she was my biggest celebrity crush of the time. And I found out that she's my 11th cousin twice removed.
I knew it.
I was absolutely thrilled to see that.
Adam Diggs enough. He's related to everybody on the
I'm
planet.
very lucky.
Said that
I'm very lucky because I'm descended from the Hodsals, and the Hodsals emigrated towards the end of the 17th century. And most American celebrities also appear to be descended from the Hodsals, which is rather fab, including, obviously, as I said, Lindsay Wagner and Priscilla. She was a Wagner too. Oh my God, Priscilla Presley. They must be cousins as well. Lindsay Wagner and Priscilla Presley. I'll have to look that one up now. The name just tweaked. I wonder if that's the other Wagners as well, the famous American Wagners. I'll have to check that one. But anyway, so Priscilla Presley was a Wagner, and then I think she's since gone back to being a Wagner. I'm rambling a bit. Mary, have you absorbed anything interesting of a TV, film, sport nature?
I actually have a recommendation.
Mm.
Yeah, I watch a lot of baseball, and which doesn't leave a lot of time for other things. But on Max, I came across a series that I am just enjoying so much. It's called Avenue 5. Have either of you seen it?
No, never heard of it.
No. Avenue 5. It is so funny. It's about the future. The space is like a business where they take on travelers, not just travelers, but like vacationers. And they take them on a space voyage that lasts for a few weeks.
Yes.
And it stars Hugh Laurie.
Oh.
Oh my.
Yeah. And he is like, in quotes, the captain of this particular ship. And I don't want to talk too much about it because it gives away too much of the revealing stuff that ends up being so funny. What was the series that you and I liked so much, Adam?
Yeah.
Say it again.
I was listening to you.
No,
Sorry.
You and I really enjoyed. There was a comedy series, kind of a takeoff on Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
And
Orville. Yeah, the Orville. Yeah.
Orville. Yeah. Well, Orville I loved until it started getting more and more serious, and then I got away from it.
Yeah.
But this Avenue 5 is so much fun, and I think there's 2 or 3 series in it. It started in 2020 and concluded in 2022. Is it 22 or 25?
Yeah.
Or something there.
22.
Yeah, and I just highly recommend it if you want good laughs and very good acting, because it's done exceptionally well.
Oh, this looks interesting.
No,
Thank you.
You'll
for
have to post
suggestion.
that. You'll have to post that recommendation on the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join. Otherwise, I'll forget it.
Yeah.
It's all gone quiet over there. This does not work well on an audio presentation. Just saying. Now you reminded me of something and it went away. Oh God! Sorry, have you done what we were talking about then, Mary? Sorry.
Yes, well, other than, I'm still listening to Big Finish stories. Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, because I've remembered now. It's the Patrick Stewart autobiography, Making It So, which obviously still absorbing. It's fantastic. I'm currently at the bit where he's in the middle of Star Trek: The Next Generation and all the sort of behind the scenes stories and stuff like that. He's dictating to everybody, or if you read the actual paper book, you'll see that. But it's so much more fun listening to Patrick Stewart talking about it or reading the book.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, honestly, I can't recommend that book enough. It is. I've read some good autobiographies. I did enjoy the Alan Rickman Diaries a while back, but this is phenomenal because obviously Patrick Stewart's had a very long life and he's got a lot to talk about. He's quite humble as well and quite self-critical of a time in which he would describe himself as being pompous. And bearing in mind he came from Huddersfield, it was Huddersfield area, probably not appropriate for him to be pompous. But it's a fantastic book. Yeah, just saying. Kirby, what have you been
okay,
watching?
So I vowed to myself to try and watch more TV and movies and less getting stuck in YouTube the way I've been doing for the last 5 or 6 years. So a couple of things that I've been watching are I've never watched all of Red Dwarf.
All right. So
about 3 weeks ago, I started on going through all of Red Dwarf, and I'm into episodes that I've never seen, and it's just brilliant.
Must admit, I did intend to watch Red Dwarf, and then I just stopped. I haven't watched it for quite a while.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Years ago, I got all excited because it was available on BritBox, and then I just didn't watch it. Yeah. So it's because I kept getting distracted by stupid stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. So it is so easy. I too, and then hours go by, and I don't even know, what it is I watched.
Yeah, so I vowed to cut back tremendously on YouTube. Now, the other funny thing is, okay, you realize that, what was it, two and a half weeks ago, it was Prime Day, Amazon Prime.
I forgot about that.
Huh?
I forgot about Amazon Prime Day.
They inundate you with it. Anyway, they had one of these sudden deals came up, and I like old schlocky science fiction movies, and I saw a deal come up for don't laugh, a Blu-ray of Barbarella.
Oh, Jane Fonda was lovely when she was young, wasn't she? Flipping heck.
Oh my gosh.
So that popped up. It was very cheap.
Is that the only thing that popped up with? Sorry, that should be very inappropriate.
Right. So I ordered it, and then I received it, and I popped it in my Blu-ray player, and nothing happened. I'm going, what? Yeah, I look at it. Yeah. It's perfectly fine, but nothing happened. And so I start researching and discovered that at some point, when they came out with the Ultra HD Blu-rays, those aren't compatible with older Blu-ray players. And this happened to be an Ultra HD.
All right.
So I'm going, well, it's about time that I replaced my Blu-ray player anyway.
And your telly, by the sounds of things.
So I did. So now I'm going to be getting more Ultra HD because on the TV that I got about 3 months ago, because my old one down here in the geek room decided to die, I now have I think this is a 50-inch TV. It just looks fantastic with the Ultra HD. So that's the other. I watched that a couple of days ago, and it's very silly. And to quote Mr. M, Jane Fonda is hot.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Well, they were talking about recently on social media about Madeline Smith, who's recently celebrated her 75th birthday, and she was, I had a big crush on her when I was in my around about 10 or 11 or 12, because she was, I think she was in a series with Frankie Howard, a series of movies called, oh God, what they were called now. They were slightly smutty. There was one where they were in ancient Rome or something like that. And I think a boob popped out in one of the things. It was quite a big thing in the early 70s for a boob to appear in a film. But yeah, I think
there's lots in Barbarella.
Oh, was there? Oh, I'll have to watch that then.
Boobs,
yeah. And bearing in mind, obviously, that Jane Fonda was quite a good actress.
So you're gonna have to buy it.
She's still in some series of Deb watches actually on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called now. Right, for Mary. Oh, I was just about to show Mary something, and it's gone to an advert. We'll move on from there then. That's a shame. Darn, that made me forget what I was going to say.
Let's see. What else have I been watching? That's probably pretty much it.
Yeah.
I haven't. The Geek Daughter, her schedule has been off the past couple of weeks, so haven't had our weekly watch party in a while. Oh yeah, I'm still watching the Batman 66, the complete series, which is a hoot.
Cool. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. But last week I was the photographer and Deb was the videographer for Ashley Hughes' wedding. Now, does anybody remember Ashley Hughes? He used to contribute to the live feeds quite a while back, actually, a big Doctor Who fan. And I tried to get my Dalek, who's currently in my shed, to his wedding, but was let down at the last minute. So he was very disappointed that he didn't have a full-size Dalek at his wedding. And I was quite disappointed as well, because I wanted to show Mark off.
What happened? It wouldn't elevate.
Sorry, is that tumbleweed just went past there?
No, that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so all I could take was Derek, my small golden, smallest 18 inches, small golden Dalek, and took that along. But it wasn't quite the same as having a full-size Dalek there. Anyway,
well, why couldn't you get the Dalek there? What happened?
Because Leaf, who I was going to get to take the Dalek to the wedding, and he said he could do 3 weeks before the wedding, but he obviously forgot that he had a wedding himself to go to, and therefore pulled out. And I didn't. Mick couldn't do it because he was working. Therefore, we couldn't get the Dalek transported, so I had to stay where it was. Slightly frustrating because I did do quite a lot of work on it that week. I've now secured the eye. The eye is now black. It just needs a bit of flattening off at the front, and I've got some white PVC pads to create the effect of the eye, and I think it does look really, really good. It does need a bit of polishing and shining up and a bit of retouching here and there. But when I saw, and I must admit, Dale, which is Dale K, which is Roy's Dalek, looks a bit worse for wears because he does such a lot of PR work for FantasyCon that he's looking like he needs a bit of TLC and repair. So now I'm very confident to say that my Dalek, Mark, actually looks better than Roy's. The only difference is he can't get to the places that Dale can get to, which is a bit of a shame. Lillian Robbins says, "These pics
are you
of your
taking your
fixes."
Dalek to FantasyCon?
Yeah, obviously. Well, that's the plan. Should be able to get a FantasyCon because there'll be vans galore to our disposal. So yes, that's it. I mean, you can get to FantasyCon. It can sit still because it hasn't got any wheels or anything, so it can sit still. But the idea is to get it around the Isle of Wight, just drawing attention to itself, and therefore potentially an A board that says FantasyCon or Isle of Wight Comic Con or whatever we want to advertise it as. That's the plan. It's nearly in a situation where it can do that. It's a very large, bulky object that doesn't fit into the average car. I haven't even tried fitting it to my car. Shut up, you stupid, smart speaker.
Didn't whowon.co.uk used to have a Dalek in the window?
They did, but I think that belongs to Nick, and I don't think he's likely to want to move it. That was very much one of the newer Remembrance style Daleks. I think they had. Mine is.
So where is it? Where is that one now?
Nick owns it. I don't know. I have to ask Nick. Well, I've got a Dalek. I don't need another one.
So as far as you know, there are 3 Daleks on the Isle of
There's
Wight.
more than 3 Daleks on it. Paul Wilson owns one. It's in one part of his house, and it's too big to get out, so that Dalek is in Paul Wilson's house, and it will be there forever, I think.
Oh dear.
We've got 3 coming to FantasyCon, including mine. There's people have Daleks on the Isle of Wight. Mine is it's just made out of fiberglass, so it's quite solid. Where a lot of Daleks that have been built by fans are made of wood. I'm actually following a page on Facebook, which is really quite.
I know there's a Dalek Builders group.
Ali,
on
that's a
Facebook.
Dalek Builders group, yeah.
I think I belong to that one because I made that Lego Dalek all those years ago.
It's Daleks. Daleks, more Daleks. Oh no, not
Lego
Daleks
Dalek.
again. Yes, that's not the Builders group.
Legos made a full-size Dalek?
Yeah, there's.
No.
Oh.
It looks like it's made of Legos.
Oh, what a full-size Lego Dalek!
Yeah,
I saw a full-size Lego TARDIS at the Doctor Who's the thing the BBC did.
Mary, you might remember it was back when we still had Doctor Who conventions here in Atlanta, but my Fred and I built a Dalek which is full size, but it's made out of cardboard, but it looks like it's made out of Legos, big Legos.
Yeah, I think I do remember.
Talking of Dalek building, yeah, it's a group on Facebook. There's a few on there. The one I follow is the Dalek building group, this bloke called Andrew Downs has posted some amazing pictures of how he's refurbished a very sad-looking Dalek, which actually looks even sadder than Roy's trusty Dale. But the finished product must have cost him a fortune. Mine didn't need that much work. I just needed to fix the eye to the head and make the eyepiece, which I bought off eBay, and then tarted it up and fixed it to the eyepiece. I'm very proud of that aspect of the fact that even though Nick, who created the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, he actually fixed the eye bit to the head. I then created the eye out of bits I had. There's other bits that need to be sorted out with it. It needs the gun fixing next, really. I've got a bloke who might be doing the lower skirt, the black bit around the bottom of the edging bit that has the wheels on it. I'm hoping that
all you need for the gun is to go out and get a kitchen whisk.
Don't be silly. I've got a bird feeder, which it just needs to be sprayed and attached to the tube, and that'll work quite nicely as a gun.
Okay.
But it's in such good condition now that it can be displayed as it is as a Dalek. It's just it's transportation issues.
Back when my girls were little, they used to run around with a whisk and a plunger.
Mm. We just did it with our arms when I was about 5. And it must have been, 6 I would have been actually, when I must have been Day of the Daleks. Was that the first colour story from the 1970s? I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
So we used to just go around in our thing, just with the arms sticking out, and go, exterminate. Clearly remember that. And I wasn't even a Doctor Who fan at the time. But yeah. Enough of that. That was a time when serials in Britain had... Oh no, it was a bit later on when the Doctor Who series had little cardboard cutout figures of Doctor Who characters. This is when Leela was in it, so it would have been about 1976. So I didn't actually eat the cereals in question, but used to get them bought so I could get the little cardboard to collect the cardboard, bits, figures. So I got trap wind. I'm gonna have to sip some cola. Oh, that took a long time going. I do apologise. It was fizzy, Right, so need fix of your fix. All right then, Lillian wants to see. I actually didn't take any pictures of me fixing parts of the Dalek, but I will tell you. I can take a picture, not now, but of the head and what it looks like. It does need a little bit of touching here and there because Nick, who fixed the eye, isn't a Doctor Who fan, so doesn't really know what a Dalek's supposed to look like. So he's done a few little bits to it to make sure this eye thing stays on. It doesn't look as Dalek-y as a real sort of stalwart Doctor Who fan would think. But when I'm looking at it, I think actually that looks really cool. I'm not, but it's just because each Dalek is unique. They're not offer obviously in Doctor Who they're offer like a production line, but when you own one, your Dalek is unique. So it's got a slightly. They all look like Daleks, but there's something slightly quirky about them, makes them individual. So for me, that's what makes my Dalek an individual thing. This little sort of fix that Nick's done to it. By itself, it still needs a bit of work. I've painted it. Like I say, I've got to make the head of it look like an actual Dalek eye from the 1970s, 80s, or whatever. But everything else, apart from a few scuff marks around its skirt and that, it looks really cool. Just needs a lick of paint here and then, a little bit of filler. But I can certainly take a picture of it at some point. But I can't show you the in-between bits. I have got a secondary sucker, brand new one, which I've put together, which needs to be stuck to a leaflet holder, which I also have, and then screwed in to the sucker. So basically the idea is I've got two different suckers. One goes in as just your standard Dalek sucker. The other one is a sucker that holds the leaflets for when the Dalek is doing its job.
Well, you should have plenty of suckers because they're born every minute.
What?
Sorry, I'm here every week. Tip your waiters.
Yeah, really. Unfortunately.
Yes. So that's enough on my lovely Dalek. I did think of another really cool Dalek name, which I can't use now because my Dalek's been officially christened as Mark.
Yes, your Dalek's already got a name, so you can't change it. So you just need to get another Dalek.
Yeah. The name is Daryl Eck. I thought that would be a really good name for a Dalek. Did you get that?
Yes.
Daryl Eck.
Yes.
Thank you. I think that's really clever of me, isn't it?
Yes.
The next Doctor Who story that we'll be looking into in no detail whatsoever is Heaven Sent, is it?
Yes.
Heaven Sent, yes.
Yeah. And I think Hellbent was after that, but Heaven Sent
yes.
Is the next one. I'm just going to check my diary situation. Oh, that's why it's on again. Hang on, Mary, are you able to watch the live feed before I talk about the dates and stuff? Are you able to watch the live feed presently?
Live feed of what?
This show on the 20 megabyte page. All the viewers are getting a view right up my hooter.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I've got it on
right,
the live feed.
Because I'm going to turn it now towards my telly. This is going. Don't get too excited, by the way. But okay, it'll take a few seconds to switch over. There it is. Look at this. Doesn't that amaze you, Mary? Look.
Well, my live feed lags behind what you're doing.
Well, if I hold it in place for a little bit.
I watch your mouth moving. Oh, there it is. Oh, you're watching baseball. You're watching Cleveland. Oh, my gosh.
I finally managed to find where it was on UK TV, and there it is. It's yes.
Yeah. How are you able to get that?
It says on the side, look, TNT Sports 2.
Oh, it is TNT. Oh, my. Okay.
Because it comes with Discovery Plus.
That's my team. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Who's the other team playing then?
They're the Baltimore Ravens.
So you don't want the Baltimore Ravens?
Ravens. We're just talking about a Raven.
And that's rather poetic, isn't it?
I thought you were a fan of one of the Chicago teams.
Well, I was becoming a fan of the Chicago Cubs, but they've been doing so badly that I've kind of drifted away from watching film. But Cleveland is winning and winning, so hopefully they're going to be.
I can't work out who's winning by the little scorecards at the bottom of the screen.
Now Baltimore is winning.
Oh, so I've got
as I said before, the closest I ever became to a baseball fan was when I lived a couple of blocks from Wrigley Field.
Oh, wow.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I do apologise for the viewers there, because as Lillian points out, my nose hair was in complete view there. Accidentally, I do apologise. Right then, so like I was talking about what we're going to do next time. The dog is having a dream. The dog is in a right grump today because
when I mention that there's a delay, that is something that is made a lot of fun of in that Avenue 5. The delay, it just does. Communications between the spaceship and Earth is hilarious.
Right. Oh, they do that on purpose for comedy effect.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
part of the
good.
comedy is the delay in the communications.
Good. Well, next week, this is Sunday the 11th. At the moment, I'm all clear because I'm going to be at work, but when I finish work on that date, it'll be the start of my 2 weeks off. So, woohoo, can't wait.
All right, so I will pencil it in for the 11th.
Yes, sir.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, if you like. So, until then, God knows, potentially next week, God knows when it'll be, but, you never know with this podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, taking part of the show, even if you didn't, because most people didn't, let's face it. Feedback was really poor this week in regards to the quantity, and so
It's summer.
Those who did post feedback, goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
The 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production, sponsored by whowon.co.uk and lavazi.co.uk. We are proud members of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended. The music on this podcast is covered by limited online music license from PRS for Music.